You are welcome once again on the Behind Recapped. One of the maximum lovely defeats in records towards the mythical protection of the Ukrainian army, the mass surrender of Putin's squaddies, is converting the destiny of the struggle. However, what is the reason for the give-up of Russian squaddies to Ukrainian infantrymen who are believed to be weaker than them regardless of being on downward? The primary reason is, of course, the exemplary defense of the Ukrainian military in many areas with a historic resistance. The Ukrainian army controlled to foil all of Russia's plans, but can the fulfillment of a military pressure its enemies to give up? This question could be very vital. Allow us to go to the battlefield to reply that Russia presently occupies 3 areas in Ukraine: Luhansk, Donetsk, Kansas, Zaporizhia. Kershaw, the largest nearby capital occupied via Russia, became liberated by way of the Ukrainian military controlled to push Russia to the Japanese side of the Dnipro River route. This became no longer smooth. The Ukrainian army controlled to advantage the top lead to this battle with the aid of making very essential strategic moves in overall more than 90,000 Russian soldiers had been killed thus far. The first reason that pushed the Russian infantrymen to surrender turned into this feeling of amazing defeat. Russian infantrymen are now completely convinced that they cannot win the sport in opposition to super. The Ukrainian military has managed to gain the mental operand. Such a lot of squaddies have died in the Russian army that all the soldiers were combating now suppose that they may be killed if there was a warfare. It's why they may be looking to break out from the military or give up right now. On many fronts, Russian infantrymen straight away commenced waving white flags when they saw the Ukrainian military. Russian squaddies surrendered by means of raising their fingers without any warfare. The Ukrainian military is constantly sharing these images. Ukrainian drones record all the actions of the Russian Navy. The give-up photos of Russian squaddies are additionally recorded by Ukrainian drones, while these pics are shared on social media. Money owed, they enticed high-quality interest. The most important interest is proven by different Russian soldiers. Russian infantrymen proportion those pictures with every different and say that they should surrender. Similarly, the Ukrainian army indicates a very fantastic approach closer to the surrendered Russian infantrymen. Russian soldiers who surrendered to the Ukrainian army say that they have been handled thoroughly in the videos they shot and referred to as on different Russian squaddies to give up. In the most popular of those videos, the Russian soldier said right here, they give us warm food, wintry weather glows, and a cozy bed. None of this is within the Russian Navy. Took a very vital step in this regard and made a call to Russian infantrymen to surrender. It's far claimed that thousands of soldiers surrendered after the speech of the Ukrainian chief who addressed Russian soldiers on television. This critical flow of Zelensky is considered as one of the activities that changed the course of the conflict. Here is what Zelensky stated in this program. We were being attentive to your conversations amongst yourselves. We realize what you reflect on consideration on the mindless battle. This shame and your state, on behalf of the Ukrainian human beings, we offered you a desire. If you surrender to our forces, we will deal with you the way human beings deserve to be handled, the way you are not treated inside the military, the manner your Navy does now not treat our army. The selection is yours. There are other reasons why Russian soldiers are so keen to surrender. For this, we want to understand the shape of the Russian military. The Russian armed forces have 1,014,000 energetic and 2 million reserve personnel. It is also the second biggest electricity inside the world in terms of the wide variety of squaddies. In addition to mercenaries inside the Russian Navy, there are infantrymen from many extraordinary ethnic factors. The Russian Federation has to go into republics. Minority human beings living in those areas also are recruited into the military, but racism is pretty high in Russia. Soldiers recruited from minority areas are handled very badly. Russian commanders do now not care about the demise of minority soldiers. This example will increase tensions inside the Russian army. Infantrymen were mistreated. Their commanders are a lot greater inclined to surrender due to the fact those assimilated people do no longer want to fight for Russia. At this point, It is important to open a very important subject matter in Russia. It isn't always believed that this warfare contributes to the pursuits of the U.S. The majority of Russian citizens do now not aid this battle. Anti-war protests are increasing daily. That is Putin's battle, not ours, say the Russian rebels. This slogan is likewise affecting the squaddies in the Russian army. Russian soldiers do no longer need to die for Putin, due to the fact the wide variety of people who think that this war is being felt most effective for Putin's political career is quite excessive. The opposite big trouble in the Russian arming is mercenaries. The Russian Navy cooperates with the Wagner organization for the agency of mercenaries. This mercenary organization, run by way of Pregosta, is diagnosed with many warfare crimes. Its Miles claimed that the Biden authorities will understand the Wagner organization as a terrorist company because of the strain of Ferguson, the president of Wagner, at the Russian government. Mercenaries have many privileges. There's a high-quality tension among mercenaries and Russian residents who are compulsory serving in the military. This situation completely disrupts the hierarchical structure in the Russian Navy. In fact, the hierarchical shape in the Russian army has lengthy been breaking down. Ukrainian troops have killed many generals in Russia. Also, generals who did no longer need to be part of this battle resigned to update these generals. Many Ukrainian infantrymen have been promoted. Therefore, the Russian Navy changed into led through very inexperienced commanders. This example caused consistent chaos in the Russian Navy. Because of this chaos, many incorrect selections were made within the Russian army, and the extreme vacuum of authority turned into created. This caused the give up of greater Russian soldiers. The give up of Russian squaddies has any other extremely good advantage for Rio Grande. Russia is compelled to take lower back its surrendered squaddies. That's why they want a prisoner alternate. If the Russian army captures Ukrainian infantrymen, the Ukrainian authorities saves its squaddies by using creating a prisoner trade. As a result, the surrendered Russian soldiers ensured the liberation of Ukrainian squaddies. Thanks to the awesome superiority of the Ukrainian military on this conflict, Russian soldiers keep to give up day by way of day. The Russian Navy does now not have enough soldiers left to combat Ukraine. What do you think about the surrender of Russian infantrymen? Do you observe Zelensky and the Ukrainian military managed to alternate the course of the warfare by ensuring the surrender of Russian infantrymen?